And welcome back, everybody, to the Freaking Awesome Podcast. And this is the Big 2-0. Yeah, man. Let's kill that bass head. All right, let's do this.
I'm on the air, we got this pockets flow. It's me and Tony on the mics, we gotta let you know of current events, little gaming, sprinkle in some entertainment. We stay humble, but our moms still think we're famous. Turn up the bass and baby, maybe let that magic flow. Our spoken word is all the things you really wanna know. Having a good time on the show, T-Bows and Matty G. Tune in and hit subscribe and join us on the FAP.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Freaking Awesome Podcast. Today's guest is an inspiration and founding member of one of Canada's most influential bands. He's a record producer, guitarist, lead vocalist, and multi-platinum award winner. If that weren't enough, he is the recipient of the National Achievement Award and East Coast Music Association's Lifetime Achievement Award, and just an all-around amazing individual. Ladies and gentlemen, Myles Goodwyn. Myles, thanks very much for joining us on the show.
Thank you. My pleasure.
We're going to just jump right into our news today. Today's article says a sex doll rental service opening up in Metro Vancouver this week. The company that delivers extremely realistic sex dolls to people's homes for short-term rentals is planning to open in Metro Vancouver this week. It's already prompted calls for boycott, of course. Natural was launched last year in Calgary by a father and son team who are planning to open a new location in Langley on Friday. The Natural Calgary's location rents out a variety of dolls in different made-up backstories, including a Russian ski instructor and an elf named Bella. Most are modeled after women, however, there is one male. The website promises that the dolls are thoroughly cleaned and risk-free, but the company strongly recommends using protection.
That is beautiful.
This article could go on and on, but I got to tell you, I see a lot of problems with this. I mean, clearly Vancouver is really stepping out on a limb on this one. I feel like this isn't much different than prostitution, especially at those prices.
The thing you got me was on rentals.
And that's like, I was just like, ew, the first time I read that.
It'd be funny if every time they come to work, there's like an army of G.I. Joes trying to get in the building.
Oh, I got to tell you, that is both interesting and horrible. I mean, I like the fact that they've gone to the lengths of creating backstories for each of the characters. They also stated in the article that they, if you want us to go up the back alley, we can do that and meet you someplace if you want. I think
so many innuendos.
I was saying to the dolls, say the same thing. Oh, it's absolutely.
Wow, isn't that fun? I mean, I don't know. Renting, normally when you get a sex toy, you have to buy it, no returns, right?
Right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think there's enough power washers out there to make me want to reuse something.
And I would imagine if you're renting a sex toy to someone that hasn't had sex in a long time, you rent by the minute.
If you were smart, you'd literally open up a sex toy cremation factory right beside.
Oh, jeez.
Hey, look, man, not my thing, but why not?
Yeah, why not?
Right? I mean, $250 a night, but they actually do rent by the hours. I mean, they're no different than a seedy motel.
Matt, why was your bill only $10?
Nothing. What's this natural with an L?
Oh, that's good.
Explain that one to your corporate getaways.
I love it.
All right, Maddie, what do you got?
Well, mine's a little more tame, but it's equally funny. I saw it and it made me giggle, and now I have to share it with you guys. So, in Palm Beach, Florida, another little
good old Florida.
Yeah, deputies with the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office responded to reports of someone screaming for help at a neighbor's home. This was just before the new year.
All right.
The homeowner was changing the brakes on his wife's car, according to WPTV, when the deputies arrived and notified him that his neighbor had called and reported that there was a woman screaming inside and asking for help. This is when things got interesting. So the owner then, to the officers, introduced Rambo. So Rambo is actually his parrot. And when he was this parrot is 40 years old.
Wow.
And when he was a kid, he thought it'd be funny if he taught it to say, "Help, let me out." So I guess this parrot was screaming that, and the neighbors called the cops, and long story short,
And hilarity ensued.
They all had a good laugh about it. So everybody was a good sport about it, and even the cops took a picture and with the parrot. So I thought that was kind of funny.
I thought when you started this, I was like changing her brakes, quote unquote, with air fingers.
Well, I've heard a lot of parrots in my day. I think in some of those hotels I used to stay at, especially in the 70s, like the White Spot and the old log-in places like that. It sounded like parrots in the next room. That might have been.
Oh yes, those were parrots.
Not sure. Can't say for sure.
I know I think it was my grandfather had a bird, but I thought it was a budgie or something. And he all he did is he taught it to say "Mary shit," so that like every time my grandmother would walk by, because her name was Mary.
Oh, nice.
I was like, wow, that's a fantastic thing for your grandparents.
Yes, I have a parrot in the trunk of my car right now.
Yeah, and parrots are messy, aren't they? Why would someone want a parrot? I don't know.
I don't know either. They're colorful. They look great.
Yeah, they do.
All right.
They taste good.
Yeah, well, after 40 years, I don't know how good it'll taste, but
It tastes like chicken, man.
Next article. Florida man wakes up to find burglar sucking his toes on Christmas Eve.
What the fuck?
Yep. So, good old Florida.
Yeah, I'm gonna be in Florida in a couple of weeks with my acoustic group doing a tour down there for a week in Florida. But anyway, this fella, hopefully, he practiced safe sex and was wearing socks.
You just make sure that you push up a dresser up next the hotel door or something when you're there.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Miles, you'll have to bring us back some news.
Yeah. First-hand Florida news. So what happened was the Florida man woke up on Christmas Eve to find a burglar sucking on his toes, according to the Manatee County Sheriff's Office. When the Bradenton resident asked the stranger what he was doing in the house, the stranger said he was there to suck toes, according to the incident report. A fight broke out during the struggle, and the suspect tried to grab the victim's genitals and claimed he had a gun. Deputies said that no weapon was found on the scene. The victim eventually was forced the other man out of the house. The deputies had suspected he smashed in one of the homeowner's windows as well as the windshield of the resident's car as a rebuttal. They did have investigators come in, swab for DNA, but they have yet to track down the suspect. So there is a toe sucker at large in Florida.
At large?
Yeah.
Yeah, wow. I don't think I'll wear sandals down there.
Protect your feet.
I think I'll wear shoes with the metal toes.
If you notice somebody with a balaclava mask eyeing up your feet as you're walking, you might want to have like the police on speed dial there.
You know the masks have those little mouth holes. Maybe that's all that he could really
Right. One at a time. All right.
I would have looked down and been like, "I told you it was a foot."
Oh, goodness.
Jeez.
All right.
So this article, how much free time? So this article reads, they say there's no such thing as a stupid question, but that's apparently not the case in Tom's Diner in Denver, Colorado. In a photo posted on Reddit, a diner received a 38-cent charge on their tab for a stupid question. So we'll post up the receipt on the website.
Yeah, for sure.
But essentially, the customer's order seemed normal. It was chicken tenders, $9, a side of mashed potatoes, $2.99, and then right below it, it was said one stupid question, 38 cents. So, while some people think so, and here's the kicker.
Yeah.
So obviously, Reddit's a big community, and there's a lot of you get a lot of opinions on there.
Yeah.
As crazy as that is, and kind of insulting to the customer, 90% of the people that posted thought that was just a brilliant idea. So expect to see more of these.
Obviously, people in the service industry.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I think a lot of customers just drive the servers crazy with a million questions about a hamburger. I mean, really, it can't be that complicated, can it? So.
And no one can order.
Who's going to judge if it was a stupid question or not? Do you raise your hand at a table, or how does that work?
Yes, there's like a bell you have to press.
Yeah.
Actually, thumbs up or down.
I'm really curious if they left them a tip.
Yeah.
Right? Like either they laughed with it and left the tip, or they were like, hell no.
I didn't see a tip on the receipt there, but
oh wow.
You know, and no one can order off menu anymore. It's always like, I want this, but can you do this?
I do it all the time.
Yeah. I know. I'm saying that's like the new norm.
Yeah. Well, I do it actually just out of curiosity. Like, the whole secret menu thing?
Yeah.
I actually, for all the listeners out there, I did go to Starbucks and I asked for the Harry Potter butterbeer latte.
And did you get it?
So they weren't aware of it, but they said, if you can tell me how it's built, we'll make it. And they totally did. And they just charged me regular latte price.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
It was super sweet.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, Myles, we've done an episode on like off-menu items. So we talk about like all the different places you can go. Like you can go to McDonald's and ask for like a land, sea, and air burger, and it's like a McChicken, a fish fillet, and a Big Mac patty all in one burger. And there's like these crazy things that exist, but they're not on a menu anywhere. So you kind of have to know about them to get them. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I saw a guy in line this summer somewhere. I forget where it was. I was on the road with my partner, and there were 2 or 3 relatively young people, and they were so long ordering at a fast food place that eventually they were told to stand back and let other customers go. And we took our food and we sat down, and we were there for about 15, 20 minutes. And the entire time, these 3 of them, were still trying to try to place an order. And I can only think it might have something to do with our new laws, marijuana laws. I'm really not sure why it takes 15 or 20 minutes to order something, all giggly and everything. So,
oh man, I want
a lot of stupid questions that day.
Yeah, I bet you that fish had eyes before they made it into a burger.
Oh my god!
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. It was pretty crazy.
Oh wow, that's
awesome.
That's insane. So I don't know if you've heard today, but Justin Bieber came out and said that he's been diagnosed with Lyme disease.
Yes,
and also with extreme mono.
Yes,
extreme case of mono. I kind of thought that it was very interesting. This is in wake of his marriage to Haley Baldwin. I think it's like, you don't have these diseases. It's called marriage.
Yeah,
they get under your skin, they suck you dry, and they leave you exhausted.
Oh, God.
Wife's going to kill me.
Yeah, you're going to feel that one later, bud.
Yep. This is the one time I hope she's not listening to the show.
Yeah, exactly. What do you got?
I remember when April 1 was inducted to the Hall of Fame, Juno Hall of Fame in 2010. I went back after getting the award to the conference room where there are all kinds of people there to ask questions from the press. And after being in the business 40 plus years and all of these millions of records and everything else, really nobody had anything to ask me. And except for one lady and her son, it was so sweet. but it was all about Justin Bieber. And I swear to God, really? I swear to you and your listeners that I had never heard of him. I said, who? Justin Bieber.
That's awesome.
Oh,
I had no idea. Now, that's 2010. Maybe he came out that year, but, I live a sheltered life. I don't get out much, and I had never heard of him until that day, that night.
Our voice recognition polygraph is going off the charts here, Myles.
I would love to have Justin Bieber on the show just to rebuttal that.
Yeah.
Myles, who?
I know who he is now. That's for sure.
That's so funny.
That's great.
All right, so Myles, let's talk about the Myles Goodwyn and Friends of the Blues 2. That was
Did you hear in the news today about the angry turtle that started a fire?
Oh my God! Yeah, that's my news.
That's
my next news item, and we thought we'd skip it.
Go for
What's
it,
that?
Matt.
Oh, you heard about it?
Yeah, that's literally my next news article. But Tony and I were like, we won't get too far in the news, and because we want the show to be about you today. We love you, so we want to make sure.
Okay, no, I just want to get any comment on that. That's all.
Okay, perfect. No, that's okay. Now that you brought it up, Matt has to go through it really quick.
Okay, all right. I'll tell everybody. Yeah, I'll blitz.